If you're like me and on social media quite often, probably more than I should be, you get bombarded with ads. God, it's just like TV. But some of those ads are kind of cool, and I have purchased things and been very happy with them. Other things, not so much. But I saw over the holidays or before the holidays some Oreo cookies, customized Oreo cookies with, a picture or text or whatever. And I thought, well, those are really cute. So I thought, well, I'm going to see about getting some of those for my Disney chicks for Christmas because they were edible, cute, easily transportable because I was going to Florida to meet them. So I did the online, clip art, tried it out. Well, for the amount of cookies I wanted, which wasn't that many because there's only 6 of us, it was going to cost me $54. $54 for Oreo cookies. And I'm like, I'm not paying $54 for Oreo cookies. I'm going to see about making my own. And then, of course, what do? You fire up YouTube and Pinterest, and you get down that rabbit hole of Pinterest, YouTube, different ways of doing things. And then I researched where I could get some customized, little wafers to put on top. So follow me down this rabbit hole. We're going to make some chocolate covered Oreo cookies. Now you can substitute Oreo cookies for anything that's round and less than 2 inches. I have seen one with the thin Reese's peanut butter cup. Now, what's wrong with a Reese's peanut butter cup? Not much. So I may venture into that at some point. But for right now, we are doing, with a hint of caramel, or chocolate covered Oreos and golden Oreos. Now, my first attempt, which I don't really, show step by step, but my first attempt was to spoon the chocolate into the mold, put the cookie in, cover it, and then after it was set, take it out of the mold, and then more warm chocolate on the top, and then put the wafer down, kind of centering it around. Now, that's how I did for the majority of them. And then I saw somebody on YouTube months later doing it with a half measure. She would put the wafers down in the mold. So it's a 1-step process. Well, 2-step. So put the wafer down, a little bit of chocolate, the cookie, freeze it, and then take it out when it was, 5 minutes or so that it was set. Then put more chocolate on, tap it down, and lo and behold, it came out beautiful. So I would suggest in any case, if you want to try this, you try a number of different ways, check a number of different YouTube channels and Pinterest so that you'll find the best result for you and the easiest for you. But follow along my little explanation on how to make these that turn into these. Look at how cute they are. And they're delicious too. So I hope you follow along, enjoy the process, and see all the different cookies I made. There was a lot of samples that got eaten. Those little chips or little holes or whatever, made for snacking for the family. So follow along. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Unfortunately, when you're videotaping, sometimes the text is in reverse. So here it is with the text that you can read. Look at how cute it is. I do love it. My first attempt at making chocolate covered cookies. So far, they look pretty good. Here are some of the items that you will need to make your chocolate covered cookies. Obviously, you need cookies. Golden Oreo or chocolate Oreo. You notice that there's less golden Oreos because that's what I like. And then the chocolate Oreos, original. The white chocolate, which is not really chocolate, they're vanilla flavored melting wafers. So I think them as white chocolate, but they're delicious. A mold, the decorating bag to put your chocolate in. Now, the first few that I made, I used a spoon, put it in. The decorator bag seems to work a little bit better. You have a little more control, and I think from now on, that's what I'll use. The circle cutter for the cookie wafers so that you can cut them somewhat accurately. This one looks pretty good. And then, the the little cupcake paper to make it look fancy. You can get pretty ones. And then the box, which I got off of Amazon. And they can put 2 in there. And this little like sticker that I got at Hobby Lobby. This I got at Hobby Lobby, and this I got at Hobby Lobby. This was less than $9. And the Fiskar one, which I'm sure is fabulous, but for what I needed for, this was just fine. It cut really good. You can take the back off and you slide your paper in. You have to trim the paper. You can slide it in and then just punch it. So once you get the hang of it, it goes a lot quicker, and it's well worth the money if you're going to make these even just more than one time. You have the molds, you can make more for presents. And then, of course, the final product, which it does look, you know, it makes a nice package. So there you go. That's the easiest way to do it. These are all the things that you really need. Of course, in a refrigerator to keep it cool. I've done the melting of the chocolate in 2 ways. One is in a double boiler, and the other in the microwave. With this white coating, you can do it in the microwave in a glass measuring cup. It works just fine, and then you can spoon it in. But like I said, the decorated bag works really well too, and once you get the hang of it, it goes quickly. And I think trying to get, you know, everything perfect, like this one is perfect, trying to get everything perfect in here, the decorated bag would be ideal. So there you go. That's all the supplies you need. So we have equal time to the golden and chocolate covered Oreos. So there's a little bit for everybody. In my attempt to make a white chocolate turtle, I used homemade caramel and the white chocolate and some pecans. Came out pretty good. Here we have the vinyl that my husband printed with our Disney Chicks sort of logo. There's the chicks. For our Christmas get-together in Disney this year. It has the date and the Christmas, the different greens, teals, reds, and yellow. And then we sent that via email to the sprinkle store, and they replicated it in the cupcake toppers. So they're really cupcake toppers, but the 2-inch, this is 2-inch, so look at all that detail in 2 inches. They did a great job. These come in a sheet, and you cut them out yourself. Now, we cut them out using a brand new X-Acto knife, and for the most part, the white blended in the chocolate, and it didn't look too bad. So that is a hint for you. Have the white background if you're using white chocolate. Now, these were done in November, so they're 2 months old at the moment. So they are kind of brittle. They break easily now that they're, you know, getting on in years. So there you go. So if you put them, keep them, you know, in a hermetically sealed bag that they send you, and use them right away, then you shouldn't have a problem. Now, these were done recently for our guild get-together for a charity sew, and that was recently on another cookie, which I'll show you the end result. And again, these are 2 inches. What a lovely job they did getting the lettering nice and clear, the colors clear. And these didn't have as much difficulty cutting because I use what they use in scrapbooking, a large 2-inch circle cutter, which made my job much quicker and a lot easier. Now, these are a little bit off center, but not by much, and that's why they're here and not on a cookie. But for the most part, if you leave a little white around, then when you put it on the white chocolate, it comes out rather perfect. So there you go. Keep the white on the outside if you're using white chocolate. If you're using dark chocolate, well, that's a whole nother ball game. But these came out really good. They did a great job. And getting a circle cutter is ideal. Here's the sheet of the Disney Chick cookie toppers. And here we have the ornament, the pin, and the cookie completed. Here are the sheets as they come from the sprinkle store. And here I am cutting using the circle cutter to get them somewhat perfect. Here it is applied to my first cookie, and I feel like, ooh, I finally made it. And here they are, ready for giving, with a little label from Hobby Lobby. Here's another example of cookie toppers purchased from Etsy and pre-cut, which makes it a lot easier. As an experiment, I'm going to try a different method of making my cookies. So we have our wafers, 2 from the Guild and 1 from a quilty pattern, some cookies, white flavored coating, chocolate coating, which is not really chocolate, my measuring cup glass, my silicone molds, and the microwave. Now what I'm going to do is melt the chocolate in the microwave using the glass bowl. I'm going to put the wafers down first, face down into the mold. And then I'm going to put some chocolate in and set the cookies and fill them partially. I'm going to put them in the freezer, and then I'm going to finish filling them, then put them back in the freezer and see how that technique works. So here goes. Melted chocolate after 3 30-second intervals. Cookies and chocolate face down. The chocolate one has been cracked, but I think the white chocolate coating will take care of it. So we'll see how it goes. Into the freezer for at least 5 minutes. All right, I've filled the remaining chocolate. I'm getting the bubbles out. And as soon as I was taking it to the freezer, more bubbles popped up. So I'm trying to make sure that there's no holes in the cookies. But it does take a little while for gravity to do its job and take the rest of the chocolate down where it should be. But off to the freezer we go, and hopefully they come out perfect. Because see, these are nice and flat, and they're not raising. The cookies are not coming out. And if you look at this one, see how it's kind of sunk down? And then you can see the chocolate. So, not that this is bad, but this looks way better than that. So, of course, I found out about that technique after I made 48 of these. But hey, live and learn. They're still going to taste good. So, this one's perfect. This one's perfect. But this one, while the top looks perfect, the bottom looks perfect. They have that little spot there, which you don't want, and then a hole, which is because of that air pocket. So we need to do something about getting it centered and better tapping to get the air out and the chocolate to be submerged. Granted, it's still going to taste the same, but not be as attractive. But there you go. I like them, especially these two. They came out great. Okay, we'll have a little recap of the pricing involved for making these cookies, depending on how custom you are, as far as your wafers that are going on the top, and how you package them. That all depends on what you purchase. But I will give you my breakdown of what I spent, and also what I recommend for your ease of construction. So here we go. The cookie molds, which you could, just dip them instead of using a mold, but it comes out smoother and more professional. And for $10, which, it's really $9.99, but $10, you get 2 molds, which each have a vessel of 12 cookies in each one. So you can make 24 cookies in a batch. So that, I don't think that's a bad price. And I'm sure that if you look on Pinterest, you can use that mold for a bunch of other things. So there's that. The chocolate, depending on what chocolate you purchase, or I should say the vanilla coating, if you're not sure if you want to do this, then I suggest you go to the grocery store and get a Ghirardelli chocolate wafer, a little bag. They're less than $5. I think you can make probably, 4 or 5 cookies. I'm not sure. And you get an idea if this is what you really want to do. And then you could either buy more bags of chocolate, or you could buy a large bag, which I've used this product before, and it's very good. It melts good. It does a nice job, and very similar to the Ghirardelli. So I'll link in the description. That's from Amazon also. 2 pounds of that chocolate for $19.99. We have 2 cats that are about ready to fight, so if you hear it, I'm not stopping. All right, boxes. Those little gift boxes, you can buy 50 for $20. Initially, I bought 12 boxes because I was just making them for my Disney chicks. But then I got all wrapped up in it, and I thought, well, those would be fun for this or that, and so I needed more boxes. So 50 boxes for $20. You could get them in, you could put them in a bag, a little goodie bag, whatever. They have those at Hobby Lobby, any candy store, probably even Michael's. But I bought the boxes because I wanted to look, fancy, and a gift box. The little boxes hold 2 cookies, so you could do 1 golden Oreo and 1 original Oreo in the box, whatever you want. The circle cutter, highly recommend this. It's just much easier than using a, I don't even know what they're called, X-Acto knife. My mind is going. Anyway, the X-Acto knife works very good, but you have to be precise. And if you want it to look good, I really say get the circle cutter. It's only at Hobby Lobby. It was less than $9. And if it's dedicated now to chocolate, but if you decide not to do the chocolate, well, then you've got a circle cutter for scrapbooking or whatever. So there you go. You can use it for other things. Obviously, if you're using it for the food item, then you have to have it dedicated for that. Sort of like your sewing scissors. Don't let the family touch the circle cutter to do their school project. All right, the custom wafers, which, obviously are custom. There's the price right there. It goes up because it's custom. But if you want something that is original and special, I recommend the custom wafers from the Sprinkle store. A link in the description. They call them, I believe, cupcake toppers. But for the chocolate covered Oreos in that mold, you need the 2-inch size. Now they have smaller ones, which would probably be less, and then you could do like the Oreo cookie people and put sprinkles on the outside. Do the smaller wafer and sprinkles, but I like the bigger wafer, and sprinkles see me just make a mess, so I avoided that part of it. So the custom wafers I got 4 dozen. So for 48 wafers, it was $45. So less than $1 per cookie. Also, don't buy exactly what you need. Buy more than what you need, because you need to experiment. If the dog gets one, if you drop it on the floor, if it breaks, you're going to need more than the exact amount. So I recommend experimenting and seeing the best technique for you. And in order to do that completely, you will need some extra wafers. So there's that. And then the stickers that I put on the little box was less than $3 because those weren't custom. They were just, off the rack. Now, time frame. It depends on how quickly you need them. I didn't need them in a hurry, so I went for the regular shipping. I ordered them on January 21st. That was the initial email, and then they approve it. You pay for it in advance. They approve it, and then they ask you for some digital image that they can put into their system, and then they send you an email to prove it, to make sure that is, or I should say proof it, to make sure that it's what you want and the color that you're going to expect to receive. So that takes a little time between the initial email, payment, proof, and they are very responsive if you have questions, and very helpful. So I found them very good to work with. So from January 21st to get them in my hand on February 6th. So it doesn't take too long. I wasn't in a hurry because I didn't need them until 2 weeks later. So, and to save time, I made my cookies in advance and then put melted chocolate on the top and then adhered the wafer after cutting onto the finished cookie. Now, if you want to do it the other way that I showed you, which worked out very well, in putting the wafer down first, face down, then the cookie, and, wafer first down, face down, a little bit of chocolate, kind of stick it down, then the cookie, kind of press down, and then you chill it so it sets. That process, you need the wafer in hand, so you have to wait until you receive it. So if there's very little time between the time you receive it and the time it's needed, you have to factor that in too. So those are pretty much it for cost. That is for February 2024. If you're watching this video in 2025 or whenever, then the prices might be different. The links might be different. I have no idea. But for today, that's what it cost. Now, if you go down that rabbit hole of Pinterest, there's a lot of ideas for spring, for Easter, weddings. It would be a great party favor. They could take it home. You know, at a wedding, you bring home cake. Who eats the cake? It gets stuck to the paper napkin. Nobody touches it. So this they would have in their hands. They could take it home and eat them. Although there's always one in the bunch, I'm not naming names, that takes it out of the box and eats it right away. And that does my heart good because I know they're going to eat them and love them. Well, hopefully they love them. So I hope you try it. You don't need to use Oreo cookies. You can use thin Reese's peanut butter cups. You can use Girl Scout cookies. Some of them fit in that mold. So the sky's the limit. Whatever you like. Thank you and have a great day. I hope you go make a cookie. Enjoy. This is why you buy extra, because they fall on the floor and shatter.